Hey everybody, Malwave here, and I'm here with another Transformers video review. Now, normally I was thinking I'd wait maybe a week in between reviews, do one every week, so I wouldn't, have as big of a workload. But then I saw this in Walmart. And to be perfectly honest, I think this is worth a review in itself. So, for this week, it's time for the video review of Transformers Yellow Box Voyager Highbrow. Now, I'm just going to have to move my camera back a little bit just so you can get the full extent of this box. This was purchased on the Walmart clearance, so basically it was rolled back to about $16, $17 for a Voyager, and this was the only one there, so I'm extremely happy. And unfortunately, the light seems to be hating me. Hey! So this is what happened. Hey! So this is what happens when you turn out the lights, huh? Anyways, so I'll get this out of the package, and then we will see how he looks. And here we have Highbrow in his vehicle mode. It's a very nicely designed... Oh. I'm going to close my window because you can barely fucking see it. Anyways. Aha! Fixed! Anyways. Highbrow is basically what I would assume to be some sort of a World War II era military style airplane. You've got the... As you can already tell, there's something for later on in the review here. You've got the dual prop. And as you can tell, he rolls quite well for a plane. So, literally, he does taxi down the runway, as it were. He's also got some very nice, if you can tell, the Revenge of the Fallen line does it well. With all, if you can't tell, there are a whole line of rivets everywhere. And I felt this, yeah, oh, there we go. Aha, this is what happens when you use a different camera. This actually has autofocus. Nice. It's got a nice assortment of weaponry. It's got two chain-mounted begatling guns, mounted in such a way that if you were aiming, you would hit your propeller. Very nice. You've also got, if I can flip it over, once the autofocus will kick in, will it kick in? Haha, cool. It's also got a very vast amount of bombs underneath. You want it? Lamp oil? Bombs? Now, the only... of course. It's even got a nice little cockpit in here. Even got a nice little detailed cockpit. Again, if the autofocus will help me on this. Nice. Now, as you can tell, this is a small little issue with quality. Sometimes these have a tendency to pop off. Maybe it's mine, I don't know. That's why I made a note of that, but that's why I didn't knock it. Other than that, though, this is probably one of my favorite. I've been looking forward to this design for quite a long time. The second I saw pictures online, I knew I instantly wanted it. So, for Highbrow's vehicle mode, I give 23 out of 25. Yes, I'm sure all of you are wondering, but Mal, you said it was great. Why'd you take off 2 points? Well, the thing is, it's not entirely perfect. It is a nice plane. It's just, to be honest, it's not entirely perfect. There obviously are some paint apps that are missing. You can tell, you can see parts underneath that you don't want to, that sort of thing. I may end up revising the mark if I need to, if suited. But now, it's time to show the transformation sequence. Here we have Highbrow in his robot mode. And I'm just barely able to fit this into the shot. And you can definitely tell that this is a very good toy. I'm already liking the aesthetic design, but as you can already tell, if your toy has a problem with the tail fin, you're going to have a lot of trouble transforming it. Now, of course, he comes with these two little mini guns. These are for later. Oh, and I forgot a transformation step. You want to fold these propellers in if you feel you need to. Otherwise, you can give him jet propelling hands. You know. Anyways, basically, Highbrow I really like the aesthetic of this toy. He's nice and sleek. He honestly does look like an aviator pilot, even down to his head sculpt, which, once I can fix this little side piece there, once the autofocus kicks in, will you kick in, please? Come on. You can do it. I know you can. I know you can. I believe in you. Alright. That's, sort of better. You can already tell he's got the nice little aviator goggles, where I got my finger, right there. He's got the, almost looks like a nice aviator's broad chin. And as you can tell, he's got clear light piping. I don't know why. Probably make him look a little better. I gotta use this camera for more reviews. This is awesome. I have autofocus, man. Seriously. Anyways, other than that, the only thing I don't like is the design of his arms. It makes him, if you put the arms sideways like this, he looks like he's kind of shrugging his shoulders, you know, kind of like, you know, eh? Hey, it wasn't me there, eh? Wasn't me there, eh? Because Highbrow is now part of the Royal Canadian Air Force. Articulation. Highbrow's head can rotate 360 degrees, but cannot look up or down. FYI, he's the worst pilot ever. Shoulders, no, depending on where this guard is, he will either have 45 or 90-degree pivot out, and what looks to be, again, due to the guard, what looks to be 360-degree rotation. His elbow, I counted this actually as part of the elbow articulation on my notes, but this is also another part of the shoulder articulation. Again, if you can put up with it, it does rotate 360 degrees. The elbow pivots 90 degrees. You know, not very impressive. The hand, and again, I'm liking the design of the hand. It doesn't look like just your standard Transformer hand. It looks like it actually has, what looks to be almost like an actual human-like fist. However, the only transformation that it does have is its pivot in for transformation. Ah, there we go. My knee was starting to fall asleep. He has no waist articulation whatsoever due to these parts coming together. Ha ha! I wish. His thighs. Now, actually, on my toy, it may not be for everyone's toy, but I grabbed his little. Yes, I grab his crotch. Ha ha! Now, dangly parts. His thigh is extremely tight, which is something of a good thing or a bad thing. But it pivots out 90 degrees, and a little nicer, it pivots 180 degrees back and forth. His knee pivots 90 degrees and can rotate 360 degrees, and his foot has a nice little pivot, going almost completely 360 degrees around. So you can literally get him into some nice wide-legged stances without any worry about having him fall over. It's just the thighs that'll probably obstruct you. So articulation. Now, the reason I'm scoring his articulation at a 21 Now, most of you are probably wondering why I did this. If, again, I said, oh, his articulation was great. Well, the thing is, he has no wrist articulation, he has no waist articulation, his elbow articulation is weak, his head articulation is weak, his thighs are extremely tight. You know, things like that. They're just small little things, but they add up. It's kind of like my last driving test. Yeah. Anyways, gimmick-wise, in terms of gimmick, that's where this toy kind of falls flat on his face. Gimmick is quite weak. He's got two gimmicks. He's got his missile... I will admit, though, this is pretty cool. He has handheld Gatling guns. As handguns! Where you pretty much... You just, tab him into his hand, I say, put up your dukes, what? Sort of thing. Yes, I like to think of him as a British pilot. And a good British pilot. A British pilot who could kick your ass. Put up your dukes, say, what? And the only other gimmick is his propeller. Now, the little engine block there, when you press it, yeah, it's the scourge of the toy world. It's the spring-loaded gimmick of the button press and watch it as it does shit gimmick. I never liked those gimmicks as a kid. I thought I preferred it if it was just a free spinning propeller. Then, you could spin the propeller and it would just kind of constantly just spin. You wouldn't have to press a button for it to rotate once and constantly be pressing the button. And after a while, I'm sure the springs would wear out on this toy, so eventually you won't even have spinning propeller. Eventually it'll either get to the point where it will spin freely or it won't spin at all. So, unfortunately, Gimmick receives a 16. Now, the only point I can give about these shoulder things that didn't make me flat out fail the gimmicks, giving him at least a little mercy, yes, 16 is mercy for me, is the fact that they can count as like shoulder weapons. In terms of fun factor, this toy has a few good things going for it. It's got a great design, aesthetically pleasing with the nice light blue and army greens with the gold engine block. It's not hard on the eyes, It's nice and subtle, and I like subtle color, and I like the subtle color scheme for this toy. It works. He's also an airplane, and as we all know, kids love airplanes. He's also got no small parts. Now, I guess granted, the chain guns, if you were really stupid enough to swallow them. But otherwise, he's got no small parts that can come off. This is also a problem. If your kid decides, to play around with him and snaps a joint, there are no ball joints. None! So you will have absolutely no choice in fixing him. He's also got a bit of a transformation problem. His transformation, as you saw, was both fiddly and a little difficult for some kids. Now it's on the cusp. It's on the cusp of being simple and intuitive and difficult, and holy crap, I can't do this. So fun factor, I score him as 19. But even with all this ribbing, I still score Highbrow 79 out of 100. The toy itself works. There are some obvious flaws in the toy. Again, I can't find any really good gimmicks with it. Again, the toy's vehicle mode, again, the toy's fun factor does suffer. However, there are a few key things about it that I do like. The vehicle mode's great. The robot mode is nice. The articulation is good for the size class. And all in all, he's a toy that I'm extremely happy to say is in my collection. So until next time, this is Malwave with Revenge of the Fallen / Hunt for the Decepticons Highbrow signing out. See you, everybody!